everybody, and welcome to the Broadscast. We're the Boomer Broads, Janet
and Marie.
Okay, there you have it.
I knew that.
I know. Today, this show has actually come about because of a recent article in The Atlantic. We're so old, it used to be called The Atlantic Monthly. I still think it is. And the name of the article is kind of scary. It's not something we're advocating, but it is in fact pretty well backed up by facts, and the name is The End of Men.
But we should clarify. We like men. Okay, we like men. Some of us even want men.
Well,
none are replying, but we like men. But it's an interesting, if you haven't read it, it's in The Atlantic, called The End of Men. Very interesting. And it's more a sociological observation, and it talks about, recently the women became the majority of workers in the workforce. And that also had to do with the Great Recession, which we just are sort of coming out of, we hope, where 3/4 of the jobs that were lost, 3/4 of the 8 million jobs that were lost by men, not women, which I think is
fascinating. And were they managerial jobs?
Well, they were mostly manufacturing and industrial jobs, and that also talks to the fact that society is changing, that our society has changed from industrial over the last 100 years to more of a creative and service-oriented industry. But it talks about, for every 2 men who get a college degree this year, 3 women are getting degrees. And it basically says that,
it's the first time in U.S. history that there are more female workers, right?
And most managers now, most new managers are women.
And I think that point, we have to tip our hats to men on that one, because it hasn't been easy over history, if you think about it, for a man to be, in fact, dominated from a business standpoint by a woman, that the woman has been in power. And the role models that exist for men and women in that position are few and far between. You think about the very successful female CEOs. They're still on one hand. You've got your Meg Whitman at eBay.
But that's changing.
You've got your Carla Fiorini. You've got your...
Okay, you don't have to count them all.
Well, Xerox. What is her name? Ursula Brown. And I'm just saying, you don't have much to work from in terms of how do I behave as a female manager, and do you think women are better managers than men?
But I don't even. I
do.
Whatever. I think women are different managers than men.
I think
the
managers.
way that our economy, especially in the
and I hate when you say whatever, by the way, when I make a point,
is changing. Okay. Yes, Janet. Is changing. I think that the female management style is better suited for the type of economy that we have, the way we earn our living, the types of businesses that are becoming more and more important.
I don't think, again,
See,
I think you make a nice point, Anne-Marie, but my point about women being better managers is I think we're better listeners. I really believe that.
Okay.
I think we're multitaskers by our nature. I mean, look at women. We're
baby on a hip and the
correct.
Right.
So we multitask much better. I think men are much more linear.
But we also, Beth, our producers Maggie and Beth had suggested to us that we talk about our own experiences. I can tell you that when I was married in 1970 and into the mid-70s, my husband was a big star at the network. I had 6 or 7 years as a producer at the network, and we were not allowed to date openly because you couldn't do that at a network. And I took the subservient role. So when we left and he went to be a big star in a smaller market, I was not allowed to work in my chosen profession, the only profession I really knew.
What did you end up doing?
I wound up running a fertility clinic, actually.
How's
well,
that
I mean, I was a good
manager,
and but that's only 30 years ago.
Yeah.
35 years ago.
And my experience was, I'm a little younger than you, so in the 80s, when I worked in television, all the female anchors would go on. You think, God, they did such a nice job on that newscast, and they'd come off the news, and all newsrooms were run by men in those days. And never once was content mentioned by the boss. He would come up to him and say, can we talk a little bit about your blush? I think you need to change your lipstick color. your
Although
mascara,
there's still some of that.
sit up straighter. I mean, of course, there's going to always be vanity in television, but it should. In that day and age, it was 100% about how you looked, and that was what women were about on television. And now content is a little. I think Katie Couric would argue that her content is now discussed as much as her looks are discussed. On evening news.
And you think about it, it's only been, what, 100 years since we've been voting. I mean, think men were the dominant sex since the dawn of mankind, except for Eve.
Yeah, she was a decision maker, wasn't she? Good or bad? At least she made a decision. Adam was just sitting there going, whatever.
We don't talk about her a whole lot because that was a very bad decision.
Yeah, there aren't a lot of strong women from history. You know, the queens, obviously, we've discussed. You know, Queen Elizabeth and Cleopatra was a strong woman. But again, until now,
well, socially, we're talking about not so much at the I mean, they were handed their jobs. They inherited their jobs. They didn't earn their jobs. And today, women are earning their jobs. They're getting elected as leaders of countries. They're getting elected as, you know, senators. It's a lot more equal. I don't want the end of men.
No,
but I like the equality of women.
And obviously that's a very strong statement. I think what it is it's Freaky Friday. Things are a little topsy-turvy, and the world turns as it does. And I love this line in this article in The Atlantic. It says, there are going to be 15 job categories projected to grow over the next decade. Men are going to dominate only 2 of them. And the 2 are computer engineering and janitor. Can you imagine? So women have everything else. Nursing, home health assistance, childcare, food preparation. These are some of the categories. That's pretty interesting stuff.
It talks to the fact that the society, the economies are changing. The needs of the economies are changing.
Yep. And so it used to be about brawn, and now it's about brain.
And creativity and management style. And so women are, you know, for example, we said to our producers who are both in their early 20s, you know, by the time you're out in the workforce, I mean, seriously earning a living full time,
and
you'll have your choice. And in positions of power.
You'll be the norm rather than the fact that there won't be any show about this 20 years from now.
You won't be talking about it?
Exactly. I don't think so.
I think is remarkable.
Right. I mean, the next show will be about the end of women because inevitably it will turn again.
You think? I think it's just going to balance out.
Cyclical. Thank you.
I think it's going to balance. I think it's going to even out. It will level the playing field. It will be more about, do you have the capability to do the job, than what gender are you? Which I think is really, really, in our lifetime, to see that,
that's remarkable.
Very exciting.
It's remarkable. And I think it's, as I say, it's not just a testament to women, it is also a testament to men who have had to figure out how to step back. And you know what? I think they're somewhat enjoying it. I don't think every man out there is all that busting to always be in power. I think we're seeing so many more stay-at-home days. You know, a lot of Mr. Moms out there.
We've talked about this. We're almost out of time. We've talked about it, I think, when I said I'm excited that my son and my daughter have equal opportunities and are based, their job opportunities and their futures are based more on capability than they are on what gender they are.
And speaking of that, this article quickly, we can end on this, makes mention of the fact that in many societies, including the Chinese society, when they want kids, they want boys. And now in American society, based on this article, they're claiming that as many families are now wanting girls because they figure, well, they have equal opportunity to boys. Why would we not want a young daughter?
Lots of food for thought.
You go, ladies.
You go, girls.
You go, girls.
Lots of food for thought, and I think it's exciting, and we'd love to hear from you. So please send us your thoughts, and you know what? You have been, and we appreciate it. We actually do read them all, don't we? You then.
I definitely do, and then I tell you, and you've been very good lately and going on as well.
And by the way, here's to men.
Till next time.
Here's to men and women.
I'm looking for a hard-headed woman, one who'll take me for myself. And if I find my hard-headed woman, I won't need nobody else.